Was that episode electric or what? Hey guys, Rob here with LPW. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was an absolute electric episode of Monday Night Raw coming from the SAP Center in San Jose, California. We got an amazing drone shot to start the show, and I'm really glad to see that WWE is implementing some of these choices and listening to the fans and seeing what we really like and what we don't like and making sure we improve upon both. WWE has just been on fire, and I'm really excited to break down this episode of Raw. Before we get into it, hit that subscribe button. We're uploading daily wrestling videos until we hit 1,000 subscribers, so I can't do it without you. But let's get into the review of Monday Night Raw on Netflix Part 2. Right, to start off the show proper, we did get CM Punk rolling into the arena in his black SUV, and then he parks that thing, walks into gorilla position, his music plays, so you know he's coming to the ring. And after the amazing match last week with Seth Rollins, there was definitely something that he had to address to the WWE Universe. Once CM Punk was in the ring, he then gave his acknowledgments to all the firefighters around the globe, making sure that their communities are staying safe. And then he got right into pro wrestler mindset, because he then says that he is done with Seth Rollins. There is no need to go back. So that definitely means that Seth Rollins isn't coming out soon. But then CM Punk continues saying that he can see his dreams and he can see John Cena, and that he will be entering in the Royal Rumble to make sure that he goes to WrestleMania. And just as if it was scripted, Seth Rollins comes out and interrupts CM Punk. CM Punk is furious. But once Seth Rollins gets to the ring, Seth Rollins then says, "I'm a man of my word, win, lose, or draw. I still show up on Monday Night Raw. That was the worst experience of my life. I've lost a lot of matches, a lot of main events. I've lost titles, but losing to you on the Netflix debut was the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life. And now it is my life's mission to make sure I take everything away from you and stop you from living your dream and going to WrestleMania." So Seth Rollins declares that he will also be joining the Royal Rumble. But wait, that's not all, because Drew McIntyre then interrupts as well, and Drew McIntyre is absolutely furious with Seth Rollins because Seth Rollins did nothing last week to stop Roman Reigns from getting power. He talks a big game, but that's all it is. He has no actions to follow his words. And Drew McIntyre is going to enter the Royal Rumble and make sure that he gets the championship before Roman can, to make sure he saves not only himself, but the rest of the WWE locker room as well. But then next, we have Chad Gable coming to the ring for his match against an unknown luchador that he demanded Adam Pearce give him an opportunity again. Adam Pearce had done the unthinkable. Adam Pearce had went out to the free agency market, and he had gotten one of the best luchadors on the free agent scene. Adam Pearce has brought in none other than Pentagon Jr., or Penta Zero Miedo, is now officially on the WWE main roster. The match with Chad Gable was overall very, very entertaining. It was a very great showcase of everything that Penta has to offer, and it was a great teaser and taste for the newer fans that might not know who Penta is. Now, I got to give some respect to Chad Gable here, because he sold every single move that Penta threw at him like he had the rent due and everything was riding on this bet. Pentagon did absolutely everything that he could possibly think of that WWE would allow, and they delivered an absolute fantastic debut match for Penta. And I can't be the only one that thinks that everything about his presentation seems absolutely perfect. Obviously, he's very charismatic. He's obviously very talented, but I think they nailed the music. I think they nailed the pyro. I think maybe they need to move him a little bit further, because I don't know, it was just like it was a little too bright when he was coming out, at least for the camera or whatever. But overall, Penta's debut was pretty fantastic in my book. He was then interviewed by Kathy Kelly after the match, where he delivered a fantastic promo saying that him and his family have waited for this for a very long time, and he ultimately declared this as the new Penta era. Next, we had a backstage segment where we ended up seeing the Judgment Day in their little Judgment Day den. Liv Morgan then comes on screen and asks if they were talking about her. And Finn Balor then replies with, "No, we definitely think that you will be getting your next opportunity any day now, Liv." Dominic Mysterio then enters the scene with a bunch of roses, trying to buy back Liv's happiness after he tried to make up with Rhea last week on Raw. Liv then takes the flowers. She says, "Thanks, I'm fine." And Dominic says, "Are you sure?" And she says, "Yeah, of course. Now, why don't you go get my luggage, and while you're at it, get Raquel's as well." She then leaves. Dom then talks to Finn and says, "I don't even think she's mad." And I think, like every other man that has a wife, says, "Oh, brother, you are not fine." I think the story between Liv and Dom still has plenty of more juice to go. I can't wait to see how this relationship turns a little bit more toxic. I can't wait to see who stabs who in the back. I'm ultimately hoping that Dominic Mysterio realizes that he is being taken advantage of, and that he will then come to his senses and maybe turn to old Pops Mysterio and say, hey, Dad, I need some help. The next match we got was Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser. And this, like I predicted, was this was absolutely a stiff match. These two just wanted to fight each other. You know, Sheamus has a lot that he wants to fight for because Ludwig did cost him the Intercontinental Championship back at Survivor Series War Games. And Sheamus desperately is seeking that Intercontinental Championship because that is the only championship that he has never held within the WWE. These two, I could watch these two fight all day. These two are definitely believable, and they definitely have a certain chemistry whenever they mix it up. So I hope that we see some more of this match in the near future. Maybe we do another triple threat where it's Ludwig, Sheamus, and Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship. However, I don't think that's what's going to happen because after Sheamus did pick up the victory, Sheamus then walked out to Braun Breaker, who was sitting at ringside, got in his face, and then they started to have a little bit of a shoving match until they were ultimately separated. And I think that's going to set up a match as Saturday night's main event coming up at the end of January. We then see Seth Rollins walking backstage, and we find out officially Adam Pearce has made it official. Next week, we will get Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins live on Netflix. Seth Rollins then runs into Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn just wants to let Seth know that he is there for him if he happens to need anything. Seth then says, oh, yeah, it's been a couple hard weeks, but it's been pretty great for you, right? You know, Roman won. He got the Ula Fala back. You know, you're going to keep helping Roman, or you're going to help him win the Royal Rumble? You're going to help him beat Cody Rhodes? You're just going to keep helping Roman? Or are you going to help yourself? Obviously, Seth Rollins is upset. He doesn't want Roman to win. He doesn't trust anybody that associates with Roman Reigns. And we gotta get some sort of match between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins in the near future. It's just been way too long since we've seen it one-on-one. And I'm just feeling like this match has the potential to do absolute numbers if you build it right. Moving on to yet again another backstage segment. We then see The Miz waiting outside of Adam Pearce's office. We have Karrion Kross exit said office, and he says, oh, we can't do anything about it. The Wyatt Six have been moved to SmackDown. And they're both confused on what to do. Sami Zayn then appears, and then there is a little bit of a verbal confrontation, which then leads to an unscheduled match for tonight on Raw. We will get Sami Zayn versus The Miz. Next, we had the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther come out to the ring and delivering a so-so promo, basically saying that he has no one to face because nobody loves the title as much as he loves the title. And I don't know about you, but that basically sounds like an open challenge to me. And now it's not John Cena. Don't get your hopes up. However, we do get the Yeet Man himself. Jey Uso then comes out and declares that he will face Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship at Saturday night main event. Gunther then has a couple of good lines saying that Jey Uso is nothing but a glorified tag team wrestler and that's all he ever will be. But Jey Uso says, I'm going to fight and I'm going to do whatever it takes and I'm going to win that World Heavyweight Championship. Next, we had the Women's Intercontinental Championship between Lyra Valkyria and Dakota Kai. Now, this match was just a little too short for my liking. I wish it was a little bit longer. I felt like I was just starting to buy in, and then it was over. I wish it would have had a little bit more. Maybe they would have slowed it down a little bit. Rumor has it that Penta actually went a little bit longer earlier in the show than he was supposed to be, but that doesn't make sense because with Netflix, they weren't supposed to be held to these time restraints. But what do I know? But this match overall wasn't bad. It was definitely entertaining to say the least, and both of these women definitely deserve the opportunity to be the first ever women's Intercontinental Champion. However, Lyra Valkyria was able to be slightly better than Dakota Kai on this evening. Lyra Valkyria did claim victory, and Lyra Valkyria is your first WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion. Then we had the match that was set up earlier in the night. We had Sami Zayn versus The Miz, which this match was everything you would expect. It was a TV match. It wasn't anything too much. It wasn't anything too flashy. However, Sami Zayn and The Miz are two of the best to ever do it, and they know how to put on a match. So overall, it was pretty good. Sami Zayn came out the winner and was Rhea Ripley coming out to celebrate her world championship win last week against Liv Morgan, declaring that Liv is in the past and that Rhea is moving on to bigger and better things because Rhea is on top and mommy stays on top. Nia Jax then interrupts, basically just announcing that she will be joining the Women's Royal Rumble. She then also calls out Bayley, who was also sitting ringside. Bayley and Rhea both are in the ring and end up taking out Nia Jax, which then moves us into the final match of the night, which was none other than Damian Priest versus Finn Balor in a street fight. Now, like I kind of predicted, this match had a little bit of everything. There was all sorts of weapons, kendo sticks, trash cans, chairs, tables, as well as a South of Heaven off of the little ramp thing out there in the crowd. This match went all around the ring. Judgment Day even came out to interfere to try to help Finn. However, the War Raiders warded them off, and it became a one-on-one where Damian Priest was finally able to declare victory over Finn Balor in the second ever singles match between these two. I know, it feels like we've seen this match a million times, but we've only seen 2 matches. I looked it up. But hopefully this is the end of that rivalry. Hopefully going forward, we're in full WrestleMania mode, and we'll see what's next for Finn Balor and Damian Priest. But for now, I think this episode of Monday Night Raw was absolutely fantastic. Overall, I'll give it a 4 out of 5 stars. Now, what did you think of this episode of Monday Night Raw? Did you have any hot takes, opinions, or something you want me to share or react to within a video? Let me know down in the comments, or go ahead and follow me over on X and put it in your comments over on that thread over there, whatever you choose. However, my name is Rob. This is LPW. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, y'all be safe.